Today I thought we could try something a little bit different. And you can probably tell by the title that this is the games that I've played on the channel ranked for you guys. This is just going to be my general thoughts on the games that I have played, which ones I actually enjoyed playing, and which ones, well, honestly, I enjoyed playing them all, but which ones I felt needed improvements, and kind of just ranking my experience with the game as I get my hands on them. So, note, the video may contain spoilers. Without any further ado, this is my list of the games that I have played on my channel. Number 5, Anthem. I can remember when this game was announced, and at the time I was coming off of the division, the first division, and I thought, how am I going to split my time between two looter shooters? Because I was really into the looter shooters and stuff like that. And, um, so I sat down and played it. And to this day, I cannot remember the major story beats of this game to save my life. That's kind of sad when it's coming from BioWare, because I really like Knights of the Old Republic and KOTOR 2, and I do like Mass Effect. In fact, the second Mass Effect game is my favorite out of uh, the three. But yeah, it was just not the story I was expecting, nor the level of, nor the level of story that I'm used to getting from BioWare, and it really disappointed me in that regard. The other thing that was really disappointing was the multiplayer. Not the multiplayer, but the gameplay loop itself. Now, it wasn't as noticeable as one of the other games I'll talk about in this video, where it feels like it drags, but you have basically three types. Go here and defend this point. Then you have collect these orbs. And search and rescue type of thing. Made me want to do this video too, and to talk about this game once again was the fact that of the day of this recording, it is 2 days since BioWare officially killed Anthem 2.0 or Anthem Next. The ending cutscene at the end of this game um, did leave me with a little bit of optimism, but now we will never see it come to fruition due to the death of Anthem. My favorite part about Anthem was the flying and seeing where it could go in other games, as well as it was perfected in this game. I hope they can use that mechanic in a different game, unlike Warner Bros., who recently got patents for a game mechanic. But anyway, it's just not what I was expecting, and the story needed a lot of improvements, and I was really hoping that this would compete for my time with The Division 2 at this time. So I hope that the developers uh, bounce back pretty quickly, and that the people that left the studio find jobs, keep creating, and moving forward. We have the Mass Effect trilogy to look forward to and Dragon Age at this point. Rest in peace, Anthem. Number 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I'm not going to go over um, the multiplayer and the co-op mode. This is just going to be about the campaign, since that's what I mainly played for the channel. And it is a very good campaign compared to other Call of Duties. And why does it rank so low in my list? And the main point to that would be it just seems kind of done before in past CODs. But again, the game is a soft reboot. And this is before he had the formation of, I believe, Task Force 141. And you're given that much at the end of the game, too. So it's kind of interesting in that regard. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with next entry for this series, since it seems to be, like I said, a soft reboot. The cutscenes are pretty good. The story is compelling enough. You want me to continue to find out what happens to the new characters. Kind of the little bit of a betrayal, but not totally, is kind of what brings it home for me. How far are you willing to go to um, protect the people and the ones that you love, which is um, something that the game does pretty well at depicting, I guess you could say, but also does a really good job of characters' motivations at why they do choose the side that they um, believe is right. And that's just one of the things that you'll have to experience for yourself. And if you want to ponder that question for yourself and see um, what the characters ultimately decide, or you can always watch or my content to find out exactly how this plays out. I know a bit of a self-promotion plug, but we are just here for the games. That's all we're here for. I really don't have too much more to say about this Call of Duty from the story perspective, but definitely a good one to check out. I just feel that at least on my channel, there's the way I'm thinking about this right now, there's better games that I've played, um, campaign wise, than this one right here, and that's why it gets number 4 on my list. Number 3. I really like this Call of Duty, and I do mean really like this Call of Duty. Um, I've always liked the Black Ops series, and it's. I know I said Black Ops series, but I meant Cold War, and more importantly, just the premise of it following the Black Ops series, because I do make a lot of comparisons with the Black Ops series. Mainly because of the idea um, of you playing a soldier that got hit, got brainwashed during um, the 60s eras, the 60s era, the 70s, and now the 80s, which I really do like the music in this game because I do listen to a lot of 70s and 80s rock. So for me, it's more than just, the pop songs of the time or the most popular songs of the time. I really do listen to this stuff on a daily basis. And so that really hits home for me and it just increases my enjoyment. But like I will like I'll say for the other COD on this list, this is mainly going to be me just talking about the campaign. And I gotta say, I really, really enjoy it. Um, we've had Russians as the enemy before, but I do like the choices that are made in here by the developers to add like little mini games in a red light, green light. The fact that your character could die at the end too carries a huge um, weight with me as well, even though that's in other games. And it's not surprising that they would, kill off Bell, but it is just how the world works. And I kind of like that they didn't, pull any punches with that. Um, and I like that. I think there's like 3 different endings. They vary slightly, and I showed you the 2 main endings that you guys can have in this campaign. But like I said, I really, really enjoyed this campaign due to the fact that it was very easy to follow, and you're always guessing what Adler's motivation was, or what he, not what his motivation was, but what was he gonna do, because um, you would get cutscenes of him talking to Hudson on the phone. So I just really, really enjoy this campaign and cannot recommend it enough. If you haven't already, go ahead and play it. I could talk about this campaign for days, and they do offer choices, but the choices are not very altering, but it is there, and it's not going to change the game drastically, but it will require you to just pick a different route if you want to do that. Black Ops 2, where you have multiple choices and that actually affects uh, multiple things, but I like that it's kind of narrow in scope with your choices. Doesn't make it too hard to get through, and plus, you'll probably uh, most people can beat the game in like 6 to 8 hours. I just don't play that fast, but again, it's a nice little game. It's a nice little um, way to spend the day if you're really looking for something to play just on a rainy day or whatever. The reason why that it's number 3 on my list is because I think that it'll be memorable for some parts and not memorable for others. And also, I just think that the other two games have a much more nostalgic factor for me, and I'm kind of biased that way. But yeah, this is definitely a game to check out, and I hope you guys enjoy it. What do the numbers mean, Mason? Sorry, Black Ops. I just wanted to throw that in there. And we will move on to the next game on the list. Number 2. The first Assassin's Creed. And I originally got introduced to Assassin's Creed in 2009. And there were 2 games out, Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 2. And Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was on the way. What really drew me to the series was the interesting premise of using the Animus to visit long and dead relatives. I really liked that aspect of it because it makes sense to me, at least in my head, about how would you do it realistically. And they do a good job of explaining how, the Animus can do this through genes or whatever you want to call it, your DNA. But I've found over the years that people don't like the present day aspect of Assassin's Creed, but it is one of the main reasons that drew me to Assassin's Creed in the first place. So I hope that they don't, get rid of it. I know in the 5th Assassin's Creed 3, after that point, they kind of did, and thereafter they didn't really do anything with the present day plot. We didn't have a protagonist to follow like Desmond Miles. But now the newer Assassin's Creed games have somebody else to follow, and I think that gives it some of its weight back and nostalgia for what originally brought me to the series. But speaking about the first game only, since that's what I'm ranking here, I do feel that the gameplay loop is a bit repetitive after you get to the 3rd or 4th guy on the list. And that's just because of the things that they have you do, whether that be pickpocketing, intimidation, or to overhear a conversation.
I know what I saw. Musoon opened the gate. He let the Templars in.
Then you must tell Al-Muallim.
I can't. Masoon did not act alone. Someone inside the fortress helped him.
What makes you say this?
He exchanges letters with someone inside. The basket weaver carries them for him.
That's no reason to stay silent.
But the weaver delivered him a letter just before the attack. I suspect it held the order to open the gate.
Then speak to the weaver. He can name Masoon's accomplice.
He's disappeared. hiding for fear of being dragged into this.
Probably inside one of his own baskets.
The fourth thing that they can have you do is help fellow assassins to get information.
You again, Grandmaster. Safety and peace. I'm so glad to see you. In these troubled times, they ask me to prove myself. But I feel so inadequate when I compare myself to you. I must kill 2 of Mujduddin's men without a fight. Could you show me the way? I would be forever grateful, and share a very interesting story with you. You are the best the clan has ever seen. Here is my story, Master. I was cleaning the temple steps. I overheard 2 scholars praising how easy it was for them to pass the soldiers guarding the entrance of the execution plaza. If you time your entry properly, they could provide a nice distraction for the guards. But I am sure that with your wisdom, you knew that already.
For the targets that you need to kill. And there are a total of 10 targets. Well, 9 at the start, and then there's a 10th one added after that. Like I said, it's just that the gameplay loop is a bit repetitive, but luckily they fixed that in Assassin's Creed 2. Another mechanic I like is the feeling of progression and the fact that every time you come back from killing another person on the list, it gives you a upgrade, makes you a little bit more formidable, and a lot more choices open up to you as you play through the game. Those are just my general thoughts about Assassin's Creed 1 without going into the lore and the overall story and setup for Assassin's Creed 1. So why does it rank number 2 on my list when I clearly have some issues with the game itself? Other games don't have near as noticeable repetitive mechanics in my view. The simple answer to that is with the premise of the game and have an interesting premise that at the time seems like it could actually really happen, like in real life, then you definitely have me hooked. And I will always give games that seem like they could actually happen a playthrough, and it's just fascinating to see what the world comes up with because it is a reflection of our reality and what people are thinking about at this time. But not to get too deep. Anyway, that's the reasons why it's number 2 on my list. Assassin's Creed is a game worth checking out still to this day, even though it is going to be 14 years old at some point this year. Number 1. Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. Was it really any surprise that this would be number 1? I don't think so, with me actually premiering my channel with this playthrough of Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. It just had to be number 1 for this list. And to echo the same sentiment as I did with Assassin's Creed, going after the deck of 52, Most Wanted Terrorists, is probably one of the most realistic things to be produced into a video game, and I really like that aspect of this game. I really like the one-liners of Matthias Nilsson.
I know it's not state of the art.
Well, it kills people, right?
A very good game. I wish we could get updated graphics and stuff for this game, but it is very good. You have the South Koreans, you have China, you have the Mafia, and you have the UN, all of which play a big part in this game as you do contracts, and you can also mess up so badly that they will start shooting at you on sight from either nation. The North Koreans are always mad at you and always hostile, so there's always an enemy to go fight and stuff like that. Um, but the gameplay mechanics are good. I do like the fact that that they let you knock out the bounties, albeit kind of just walk up to them and hit them one time and then put handcuffs on them. The other thing that I like about this game is writing for the characters. I know I mentioned it with one-liners from Nilsson, but you really do get a sense of Nilsson and Fiona's chemistry between the two.
I think I like Colonel Payne. Even a stick up his butt has a stick up its butt.
Oh, I'm sure he'll warm right up once you get to know him.
Second game, you do get to see Fiona, but that's a different story for a different time. One of the things that breaks the game and ultimately get a helicopter and just use that the entire game, and that's the easiest way to play the game kind of easily. And if you know the spawn locations of the helicopters for when the map flips over, then it's pretty easy to always have a helicopter at your side. I honestly don't play this game as much as I do KOTOR. Like I only play it like maybe 2 every 3 years, but each time I come back to it, it gets better and better that I play it. So once I thought I would try, not playing as Matthias, but his one-liners are just so good that I cannot play as him. So let me know if you guys want me to play this as a different character, because I'd be more than willing to do it. And also, I would like to know your list and rankings based on these 5 games, where you put them for yourselves. And with that, guys, leave a like on the video and consider subscribing for more content like this. Thanks, guys.